the job is divided, all of it, the cooking, cleaning, and the baby.
I think you just said the major difference in the cultures. Swaroop perceives that her mother-in-law would be able to raise her child better than herself. That is definitely not the perception in America. Girls who have babies feel that they know best about their baby, and that if they don't, their mother will help, and the mother-in-law is not involved at all, usually. So that's a very big total shift. The biggest one that I feel coming to India.
She feels that although she's doing more work and caring for the baby less than her mother-in-law, but in no way does she feel that that equates to less love. Caring for the baby doesn't really mean that she's giving less love to the baby.
Sure, I can see that.
She feels that it has nothing to do with that.
Do you look forward to the time when your mother-in-law will be passed and you will be running this household and raising your son's child?
क्या आप future में जब आपके mother-in-law, she says she hasn't thought about it, but yes, eventually she will have to. She says when her mother-in-law is a little older, then she may have to think about it.
Right. I kind of get the impression that the feeling is that when you're a new bride and you have a new baby for the first time, that you're an inexperienced mother, and therefore you defer to the mother-in-law, the mother of the house that's already been trained to raise children, and that this is more or less a training for you for raising your grandchildren. Is that the perception?
At first she did feel that, and yes, that was the reason, but now she thinks that she has learned quite a bit, and she feels in some things she can actually do better than her mother-in-law.
पर जब birth होता ना बच्चे का, उस टाइम नहीं कर सकते उसकी, उस टाइम तो कोई experience नहीं होना चाहिए.
But she says when the baby is born, you cannot really care for it, so you do need someone experienced there.
What does a young girl do if she is married, moves in with her husband and her new mother-in-law, and is unfortunately mistreated in some way by the family? What does the young girl, what can she do?
Well, अगर जैसे लड़की की शादी होती है, she says she'll try to explain it to them and ask them not to mistreat her, and if she feels that they continue to do that, she would leave.
Mm-hmm. And she would leave and go back to her home with her mother?
क्या वो वापस अपने घर जाएगी? She feels that first also her family would be involved, the girl's family would be involved, and they would come and try to reason with the boy's family. I would like to add that the answer to that problem is is on television 24/7 through various soap operas in India.
How has Swaroop's feelings about moving in with her mother-in-law and living with a new family changed over the years since the time she was little to now?
वही क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं दोबारा, तो मैं आंसर करूँगा आपको. Yes, at some point when she was growing up and she was with her friends and in the school, she heard and from people around her and society in general that it is very hard to live with in-laws, and that's the message she got from the society. But then she reflected on that and realized that her grandparents were very kind and nice to her mom, and also when her older sister got married, her in-laws were very nice with her. So her own experience contrasted with what she had heard. And when she finally did get married, now she thinks that it's much better to live in a joint family, and that's what
We
she
were
wants.
just discussing that it's probably because we don't live together in one household with joint families that happens. In other words, Arun was saying in India, if the husband and wife were to live alone together in their own house and not with extended family, that yes, in that case, the girl, if she needed help, would call on her own mother to help. Did you feel any pressure to have a boy baby boy?
आपने एक्सपीरियंस किया, प्रेशर किया आपको जो बेटा होना चाहिए?
नहीं, बेटे के लिए तो नहीं किया, पर बच्चे के लिए किया, बच्चा होना चाहिए, बेबी.
She did not
पर
have any
ये भी बोला
pressure.
था ना कि लड़का तो होना ही चाहिए, चाहे 2-4 लड़कियां भी हो.
She didn't really feel any pressure to have a baby boy, but she did feel pressure to have a baby. But there was also an underlying expectation to have a baby boy eventually, even though she would have girls, but
That she would have to keep trying until she had at least one boy.
kind of, yes.
And that would be for the purpose of being able to raise grandchildren in your own home.
Because the society here is patriarchal. Everything is passed down.
Male
The lineage is
dominated.
passed down
To the
the
male.
male child.
Yeah.
So
We learned with Rinku that the baby is 4 months old and it doesn't have a name yet. Do you have any names picked out?
आपने नाम सोचा है कोई बेबी का?
वही मैंने तो सोचा, एक वेदांत है, 3 नाम है मैंने सोचे हुए ना, एक माधव, एक युयुत्सु.
Yes, she does have 3 names in her mind.
पर रखेगी नहीं इसको तीनों.
Vedanta, Madhav, and Yuyutsu.
And do those have special meanings?
क्या उनका कोई meaning है?
मीनिंग लिए थे मैंने कंप्यूटर्स पर, अब मेरे को पता नहीं.
She did know
माधव का तो केशव,
Krishna.
कृष्ण वगैरह है, और जो
Vedanta means end of Veda.
वेद. पर युयुत्सु मेरे याद नहीं है.
She did know the meanings. She knows the meaning of first two. Vedanta means end of the Vedas, which are Hindu spiritual texts, ancient Hindu spiritual texts, and it means the end of those texts, the summary or the whole message of those texts is called Vedanta. Madhav is another name for Krishna. But the third one, she said she did look it up, but she doesn't remember it now.
Do you expect or anticipate, or would you like to have a career in your field of study at some point in the future?
आपको लगता है कि आपके future? She says, yeah, it is possible, and she would like to do it, but it would depend. It would be a collective decision of the whole family.
And how old would the baby have to be?
और बच्चा कितना बड़ा होना चाहिए आपके हिसाब से जब आप करना चाहोगे? जैसे for example आप
3-1 साल का जब स्कूल चले जाए, उससे पहले तो उसकी केयर करनी पड़ेगी ना.
at least 3 years or older.
At least 3. And when does school start here? At 6?
About 3.
Oh, school starts at 3 here.
Preschool or